People say that data runs the world. And yes, that may be true, but it can only do so successfully if we actually understand the data. And that requires communicating it clearly. So when people talk about modern society being based on numbers and data, they sometimes forget that this is not just people analyzing data and crunching the numbers, it is also convincing other people of numerical facts and convincing other people to make the right decisions on the basis of this data. And that's a communicative process. So communication actually sits at the heart of everything that involves numerical information. Language and gestures have a tremendous impact on how we perceive data. And to give you a very simple example, if I was telling you, let's say in a newscast, that there was a protest happening on the streets of a city, and several of the protesters got arrested, and I'm producing this with an outwards moving gesture. So I'm saying several people got arrested. This language, actually, several, doesn't tell you anything about how many people got arrested, but the gesture communicates a certain size at the same time. And it's actually something that we have shown in experiments can influence what number you have in mind. The Making Numbers Meaningful project is a UK-funded project that looks at numerical communication holistically. So we have a team of people who are interested in looking at how is it that I come from a number that's in my head or in my data, and how do I get you to understand this number so that you actually make the right actions. And we do this in a way that's slightly different from other people who have investigated this topic, in that we focus on numerical communication holistically. So that means that we're not just looking at, for example, data visualization. That's an important topic, but we're also looking at how data visualization and graphs are used together with language and are used together with gesture, and how all of this forms your impression of a numerical fact. One of the things that's so fascinating about numerical communication is that so much of it is actually not precise. You'd think numbers comes with precision, but actually if you look at newspaper articles, politicians talking about data, all sorts of, even corporate annual reports, all sorts of numerically dense texts actually use a lot of extremely vague language. So when we have precise numbers, we often round them. We use vague expressions like several, many, most, the majority of, sometimes even sort of fake numbers like umpteen and gazillion that don't even actually reference a precise quantity at all. So it turns out that a lot of numerical communication is more about what's large, what's small, what's going up, what's going down, rather than this is a particular precise number. We are often actually sort of in a persuasive mode where I'm trying to convince you of certain numerical facts, and I'm using vagueness in pursuit of that. It is crucial that we're training data analysts not just to be good data analysts, but also to be effective communicators. Because naturally, this is part and parcel of what a data analysis actually has to do. They have to, on a daily basis, not just analyze data, but also present the results of those data analysis to others. And so one of the things that we want to do is we want to give recommendations to data scientists so that they actually know what works in communication. And moreover, and sort of from a more big picture perspective, it's really important to actually recognize that communication is something that is a skill that needs to be trained in the first place, that is something that needs to be invested in.
How can we make complex data accessible to decision makers with low data literacy? Constantly questioning. Discover our work in cognitive linguistics. Join our quest. birmingham.ac.uk/quest.